Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we successfully displayed that message option, right? So how can display that message? I think it's very much clear to you. So right now we don't need this. So in this video, I want to discuss about our this register option. Into the register option area, that is our name. So this name will be as a username. As I told you friend, when you actually logged in, so right now we are using the default one, right? So here there is easy learning. I just simply logged in. If you go to that user, and with the user area, as I told you before, actually it's providing into the user one of the table, that is a default one of the Django table for the admin. Into the user table, there is a username, there is a password, the first name, last name, and the email address. So that's all actually the default field. Okay, so here we have to also make that field as our username field, and that will be our email, and that will be as a password and the confirm password. Okay, so right now I have to actually use it. So make that sure you add it. So right now I just simply log out from here, and now I want to work with our this register page. So into the register page, if you want to work, first of all I just simply clean everything, then it should be better. Okay, I just simply clean everything from here. So now first of all, here we have to work for the register. If you go to that URL, into the URL area, there is a registration, there is the views. I have created that our function name as our auth registration, right? If you go to our view, into the view area, so that is our auth registration. So now we have to work on here. So before doing this, we have to also open our template. That means in our authentication, that is our registration template. So to the registration template, I already set some of the field. So our field name here, there is a name, there is an email, there is a password, and there is our confirm password, right? And then there is actually our registration button. So if you want to change that name, you can change it, rather than if you want to make the things as a username, you can use that username. Okay, it's completely okay. And there's ID actually don't need it. Better, I don't want to make you confused. So there is actually no portion for the ID. Okay, I just simply remove that ID, and then that is our placeholder, right? Perfect. So also, as I told you, when you click as a registration, that means when you click as a registration button, automatically it will be go to our this from action area. Into the action area, you can actually add our this route. That means automatically it should be redirected to our this route area. That means this route. Okay, so if you want to use that URL name, you can use it. That means here you have to do, then you have to put some of the URL. Okay, so here you have to put that URL, and then you have to put that that means where exactly you want to pass. I want to pass it in our registration, in our auth register method. So here you have to actually pass it. Okay, rather than if you make the things as empty, automatically it will be redirected to our this method area. So here if you want to add it, you can add it, rather than it's totally okay. So also here I added that CSRF token, and also that is our password and the confirm password, and password and confirm password should be the match, right? So whatever the things we'll put in our password area, and first of all it should be check it that password and the confirm password field, that means this input field is the same it or not. So I have to also put that validation. So if you want to add that validation, and also if you want to show some of the message and what exactly we did for our logging, into the logging area, I added one of the messages for view this message, right? Better I just simply copy it, and now in our registration, after that I want to actually visible it on here. It should be show some of the message when our all the validation message, it should be visible. Okay, so I just simply add that our message portion on here. Perfect. So now we have to do the same things that we did for our logging. Go to our view, and that is our registration. That means into the registration function area, first of all we have to add all that our field, right? So first of all I want to put one of the condition as a if condition. If our request, if this request method, with this method I want to check it that is actually post or not. So I just simply first of all want to check it, right? So first of all here I want to check it that request is posted or not. What are the request I pass from our register? So first of all I want to check it. Okay, and then here we have to put all that our name. So I just name it as a username, username, and into the username area it should be just like that same, the request, That means all the post request, and with the post request area, here we have to add our field name. That means our post request field name. So from here I pass that field name as a name, right? So now here you can actually use that, here you can use that name. So if you want to change it, if you want to make the things as a username, you have to put that our field name on here. So right now there are the multiple field. Better I just copy it, so it should be as a email, and then it should be as a password, and then I make that things another one, that will be as email, password, and the confirm password. So I just name it as a confirm password. Also here we have to pass that confirm password, that will be as a password, that is actually our field name, as email, right? So there is a confirm password, name, and then email, and then name. Perfect. So I just simply added all that our field. So here first of all I want to actually check it. First of all I want to check it our this password and the confirm password is the same it or not. So for the reasons here I want to prove and to put one of the condition, one of the if condition, if our password is equal our confirm password. So there is a confirm password, when it should be is same. Okay, when it should be same, then it should be print. That means here it should be do some of the action actually. So right now I want to actually check it first. Okay, I want to check it like it should be display some of the message rather than else. That means into the else area, else it should be do another work. So else it should be show some of the message. So with this message I want to actually show it. So I have already added that message option in our register area. So here it should be show some of the message, and it should be as a obviously error message. Into the error message area it should be show some of the message. Better here I just put one of the message. It should be display as a password and confirm password not match, right? So when it should be match, then it should be do one of the action, else it should be show our this message, right? So now first of all I want to actually check it. Here I want to check it because of all into the register. Here I already added our message, so now it should be visible. So now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, and now I want to refresh this page, and that is our username. I put one of the username as a Kazi, and put that email address as a kazi@gmail.com. gmail.com, and put some of the password, and that is our confirm password. So our password is confirm password is not matched. Now it should be display some of the error message. Now click as a register. Yes, you can see friend, now it's showing our message as a password and the confirm password not match, right? So that means our validation is now perfectly working. So now I want to do that is our when our password and the confirm password will be matched, then before register this user I want to check it. First of all I also want to check it, that means this user is already exist it or not in our database, and also I want to check it our this email is already exist it or not. Okay, so they have also one of the method as it exist. So with this we can do that work very easily. So right now that is our, we don't need this. So here I want to put another if condition. Okay, so here after that I want to put another if condition. If our with one of the default one of the class as a user, that is actually one of the default class, that is a user, and with this user we have to actually first of all filter it. So with this filter means it should be search it, that means it should be search in database that user already existed or not. So for the reasons that we have to add our user and then objects. Okay, with these objects it should be filter. So as I told you, with this filter it should be check, and then it should be check our which field, it should be check our username field. That means the username field it should be check it, that means this is already existed or not. So they have also one of the method as exist, so I just simply added that exist. Okay, so with this exist method it should be check it, this user is already in our database object area, they have already this user is existed or not, so it should be check it. So when you use that user also you have to import it. So here Here after the from to the from and Django, from to the Django contrib, and then the auth, and then the models. Okay, from to the models here, from here we have to input our this user, that is our this user class. Okay, so make that sure you input it, so it's very much important because of all here we use it, right? So with this user it should be check it, that means this, if this user object, it should be filtered that data in our database table, that means this user field is already existed or not. So when it should be exist, then here I want to show some of the message. So it's simple. I want to do here in particular that position. So here it should be show some of the message as a error message. Into the request area it should be show that as a username already exist. So this type of one of the message it should be display. Okay, and else, so I want to do another else if. So here that is the else if. So with this else if, it should be the same condition. With this user I also want to check that all our email field before, as I told you before friend, so everything actually in our admin area they have one of the table, and that is a by default some of the field. So right now I have checked our username field, and now I want to check our another field for the email. So it should be just like that same, that with this user objects, and then it should be filtered, that means it should be check it, right? So it should be check it. Right now our default field name as email, so that is our email. This email is whatever the email actually I pass from here right now, so it should be check it, that means our post requested email, so it should be check it. So that is, sorry, that will be email, so it should be checked. So that will be our post, that means this post email field, and that is our database field. Okay, that means our admin database field, that is a default one as email. It should be check this field with this filter is existed or not. So I just simply added that exist again, exist method. So with this exist method, when it should be checked, if you get some of the same, when it should be the email will be the same, then it should be show some of the another message. So here it should be show the another message as email already exist. I hope it's very much clear to you friend. And else it should be save this data actually. So here in particular that area, that is a else. So that is a else it should be first of all it should be check all the tower field. I just take one of the variable as a user, and sorry, with this user here we have to also add that our user, that means with this user class, that is objects, and with this objects now I want to create our new user. So they have also another method as a create user. So that is a create underscore user, that is on the default method. So with this create user method it should be create that user. So when we have to pass all that our field name as a username will be the username, right? That means that is our database, our default admin username, and here I take our field name and I just take the things with this variable. Here I just simply passed it. So I'll also have to pass our email field, and also here we have to pass our password, right? So I just simply pass both of this field. It should be as a username, password will be our password, that means our post's password, and also email. And then I just simply pass that email. So I just simply pass it. So it should be created with our this username, password, and the email field, all the data. And after that I want to actually save that user. So I just take all that our object user, that means create user new data, take the things with this variable. So now with this I want to save it. Okay, I just simply save this data. I hope it's very much clear to you friend. And when it should be created that new user, where exactly it should be redirected, you can also pass some of the redirected things from here. So as we did before, that is a return redirect. So right now I want to use that return redirect when it should be successfully create that new user. When it should be create that new user, I want to create reference to our specific profile page, right? So that is a profile in our employee profile.html. So for that I have created one of the URL. So that is our profile, right? So I want to actually pass it to the return redirect to our profile page. I hope friend every line should be very much clear to you. Okay, and else it should be display our this message. So I have already checked that validation. It's now perfectly working. So friend, that's all you have to do. So here now let's check this out. Now I want to actually check it step by step. Now if we click as a save all, first of all I want to check our server. Yeah, it's perfectly running. They have no error. Now I just refresh it. Better here. I just refresh it. So now I want to create one of the username as a Kazi, and I just put that email address as a kazi@gmail.com, and then put password as udemy12345, udemy12345. Okay. So now if you click as a register, so as I said that things on here, when it should be save this data, it should be redirect to the profile page, right? So now let's check this out. If you click as a register, so now it's showing some of the error as a queue said object has no attribute as a exist. Here you can see that it's actually spelling mistake, friend. I understand. You can see that it actually exist. It's not that exist. It should be as exist. So better I just put that again. Exist, EXISTX. Okay. Okay. So that will be as exist. That will be as exist. Perfect. Now let's check this out. When you face any error, don't worry about it. Okay, because of all that is one of the common part for the programmer. So now I just simply check it, and now let's do that work again. I just refresh it. Okay, and that is a refresh it, and now that is I want to do and to add the kazi@gmail.com, and then udemy12345, udemy12345. So now click as a register. Yes, you can see friend, now it's successfully logged in. That means created that new user, and you can see it's now perfectly redirected to our profile page. So here I have simply added it when this user will be created, where it should be saved this user, and then return to the redirect to our profile page, right? So now you can see it's now perfectly redirected to our profile page. So now from here, if you click as a logout, and now I want to log in with our admin with the easy learning, logging, go to that user. Yes, you can see there is a new user is added as a Kazi, and also I put some of the name as our email address. That is our email address as a kazi@gmail.com. Okay friend, I hope it's very much clear to you. So that is actually I'm talking about, that is all that our username, password field, first name, last name, and the email address. Okay, so that's all actually the default one. So here I have used all that our default one, this table, all that field. Okay, so right now I have already exist some of the user. So here you can see that is actually our all that username. That means this username means as I told you, that is a user table, that is our user table field name, and that is our same as a password and also the email. And also here I put some of the validation. I put that validation, if this user is already exist, then it should be show that username is already exist, and also it should be display that email the same, right? If this email is already exist, then it should be show our this validation. So now let's check this out. I have already created one of the username. That means that is actually kazi@gmail, and the username as a Kazi. So now I want to check it again. So now if you go to that register, so here I put that name as a Kazi, and kazi@gmail.com, and put some of the password as udemy12345, udemy12345. So now our username is the same, so it should be display some of the error. Better I want to make the things as a Kazi1. Okay, first of all I want to check that username, click as a register. Yes, you can see it's perfectly getting that our validation that username is already exists. That means it's automatically redirected to our which position. So into the filter area, I simply checked it, our username field, that means our database username field, and our requested username, it should be check it. That means you should be checking our database. Here you can see it's already getting that our this same name, that means the same username. For the reasons here I just put one of the message error, it should be display our username is already exist. And same as for our email field, I added there is an object, it should be checked with this filter, email is already existed or not in our database. And here you can see there is also another field as email address. So that is one of the field name as email. So it should be check our requested email. So now let's check this out. and now I want to put the name as a Kazi Ari. Okay, and then I put on the same name as a kazi@gmail.com, and Udemy 12345 and Udemy 12345, and now click as a register. Yes, you can see it's now perfectly also getting our this error as the email already exists. That means our this validation is also perfectly working. Okay, rather than when everything will be the perfect, then it should be saved. That means it should be created that new user into the object area, and then it should be save it. So friend, we successfully complete our registration portion, and now if you also want to log in with our new account, so from here we have to log out. I just simply log out, and now here I refresh it. I want to log in with the Kazi username and the password. I put the password as Udemy 12345. Click as a login. Maybe I do some wrong as a Kazi and Udemy 12345. Click as a login. Yeah, you can see it's now successfully logged in, and also showing as a login by Kazi, right friend? So everything is perfectly working. Click as a logout. Yeah, you can see it's now showing as a successfully logout. I hope friend you enjoyed very much. So don't worry, laterally step by step we will go more deep. So whatever the things you should know in Django, step by step I will show you everything with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.